Hello and welcome to evening prayer. Jesus, in his Sermon on the Mount, shared this wisdom. So do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring worries of its own. Today's trouble is enough for today. So I'm going to share with you some words from a colleague of mine in the States, whose name is Nadia Bolz-Weber. She is very well known and is invited to be a guest speaker at conferences throughout the year. And she was reflecting on what her life has been like since lockdown, and she said immediately when they went into lockdown, middle of March, she was thinking, surely they'd be out by Easter, and she just loves that congregational celebration of Easter. And then that became clear that that wasn't happening. So, well, okay, but then there was that conference she always loved speaking at in May, and turns out that was going to be canceled. And then there was that trip she'd planned to another conference, and the conference in June was canceled too, and even well into September, all of her speaking engagements were canceled. And she talked about suddenly experiencing her future simply go up in smoke. And then she shared a study, I don't recall the reference, of a number of people who had survived as prisoners of war in very severe conditions. And the study was trying to determine what were the characteristics of those people who survived being prisoners of war vis-a-vis those who didn't. And one of the characteristics they discovered was that the optimists died. So the optimists who kept living in hope that, well, maybe by Christmas they would be free to go home. Or then it changed, well, maybe by Easter. And then suddenly it was another Christmas. And it turns out that they died of disappointment and a broken heart. And they kept setting themselves up for further loss. Whereas those who survived were those who did not anticipate the future one way or another, but developed resilience to live in the present. I think one of our assignments during this pandemic is to learn to live in the present, to learn to pay attention to what we're called to experience in the present, like my magnolia tree. And I read as well earlier today something written by a woman in my own community. She's a young mother with a very responsible job. She said, I know that there are many who are experiencing profound hardships during this pandemic, and so I wonder if I even dare admit how much I am enjoying this time at home with my children. Because under normal circumstances, my husband and I are going 9 ways for lunch, both working full time, tag teaming, spelling one another off. And now I'm just paying attention to my children, and I'm loving it. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will bring its own worries. Let's just settle in and receive what this day brings. It's very challenging, isn't it? For those of us in Western culture who seem to be part of this drivenness and this sense that we're always meant to be arriving somewhere else rather than living fully into the present. And so as we prepare to put this day and its worries and its gifts to bed, I offer you this blessing from John O'Donohue entitled Before Sleep. As I lay down to sleep, may the guardian angel watch over me, coaxing all my cares to unravel into peace. As darkness within is wed to darkness without, freed from the weight of light, let my eyes sleep, relieved of all intensities. Let my imagination trawl the compressed seas to bless the dawn with a generous catch of luminous dream. And may this new night of rest repair the wear of time and restore youth of heart for the adventure that awaits tomorrow. Rest well, good friends, for a new adventure awaits tomorrow.